What is up, everybody? And welcome to another Saturday Code Geass live stream here at Anime Uproar. And today we have joining us so far, we have my brother Gozen. There he is. Say something, Gozen.
Hey guys, what's up? Gozen here, your boy. Back to talk about Code Geass.
Woo! Yeah. And we also have Briggs from All Day Anime. What up, Briggs?
What's up, guys? Glad I could actually be here this time, and hopefully we don't have any technical difficulties.
No, we never do, right? We never do.
No, yeah. With these live streams, sometimes technical difficulties happen. Last time Briggs was on, he was having technical difficulties. Right now, I was having technical difficulties. That's why we're a few minutes late, because I couldn't hear the rest of the guys. So, yeah, that kind of stuff happens. But, hey, that's part of the fun, I guess. I just want to welcome everybody in the chat. I already saw a few of them over there going crazy. I saw Creep Ellen was in the house. I saw Chaos was in the house and some other peeps. So, yeah, welcome, guys. And today we're going to be talking about all sorts of questions you might have about Code Geass Season 3. 3 questions and answers. And I also want to address a bunch of questions that we had on our videos, our Code Geass videos. We've been getting some questions that are the same question over and over again. So I wanted to discuss that kind of in detail in this stream so that we can kind of get all that kind of stuff sorted out in time. And yeah, take it away all day and goes in while I set some stuff up. Let me know. Just start talking about something while I do some additional things I need to do here.
Sure.
Already got 32 people watching. That's unreal.
37, bro.
37. Oh, it just updated for me too.
Yeah, it gets crazy sometimes. But I've been rewatching Code Geass because I want to contribute as much as possible to these discussions. So I've been rewatching now. I'm up to episode 8, I believe. But yeah, it's crazy. The more you watch it, the more you see how much foreshadowing there is, how much things they're on top of and pointing towards. It's crazy. I think it's very cool to rewatch it, even for that reason, even if you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I literally told your brother like yesterday I need to rewatch it so I could have enough put some input into these streams. I feel like I'm just not on like Animax level, and even like some of the people he had on the stream last time. I was pretty I was watching it. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I don't think everyone in the live feed. I'm sure everyone in the live feed isn't all caught up with didn't rewatch everything recently. We're all kind of just,
years,
we
right?
know what Code Geass is, right? But yeah, from being in my position, I'm just like, okay, let's rewatch those episodes, and it's amazing. And I even forgot how funny it is. It's actually hilarious too.
But I feel like that's why you guys are taking off so well and these streams are so popular. Cause I was watching it and I have a general knowledge of the series. I've watched it. I think I've watched it twice, but not within the last 2 or 3 years. So when I look back, I don't know, as watching it from a viewer, I'm learning so much, and it just you guys kind of blow my mind how knowledgeable you guys are about the series.
No, it's like dream interpretation. I'm gonna bring Freud into this. If you write down everything you remember about a dream, you'll probably have maybe 2 pages of notes. But if you interpret that dream, you'll have books upon books of books. So that's what I'm saying. With Code Geass, we have 50 episodes, which is a lot, but the stuff we can interpret and the stuff we can find within it is even more than those 50 episodes. So
for sure,
it's insane. So much to work with there.
You should see the One Piece community. Every single chapter, there's hundreds of theories that come out.
Yeah. But it's fun. I love it. I love doing it, especially
it's
as
amazing.
It comes out. I love doing that, and I love people who do it. I love listening to theories. I love sharing my theories. I think that's always fun. And I've been reading the manga. I'm trying to get caught up on the popular manga, and I've been reading 7 Deadly Sins manga. But yeah, Animac was joking no one ever dies, and just rewatching Code Geass, literally, dozens of people die every episode. So it's such a big difference between 7 Deadly Sins and Code Geass.
We got a whole bunch of people in the chat going crazy. What's up, guys? We have Richard O'Keefe. Hey, man. We have Holy Knight. We have Lelouch v. Britannia. All hail Lelouch. He says we must hail him. We certainly do. All hail Lelouch. We have Anime Recon dropping in to say hi. I think Recon still has to catch up on Code Geass, but we welcome you, bro. How you doing?
Anime Recon, consider yourself noticed.
Yeah. We have Digichan saying all hail Lelouch, and I think the Digitron was also saying he needs to rewatch Code Geass. I actually rewatched it recently, like a month ago, before even we had the announcement of the 3rd season. I was rewatching. I was in the process, and then by chance, it ended up being that I ended up getting that news. I'm like, oh damn! So then it worked out well because it was all fresh in my mind, and also, if you guys are interested later on, as the movies come out and the news starts, start getting closer to the sequel. If you want, on this channel, we could do like a together rewatch live, like rewatching the episodes and discussing them as we go. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to let us know. Who else do we have here in the awesome chat? We have Phantom Black. What's up, bro? Actually, I'm pretty excited for this. Phantom Black. He found something yesterday on our Discord server. He sent it to us. That is very interesting. It's so interesting. It's a Code Geass thing. It's so interesting that we're going to be making a new video about it this weekend. So maybe even today it'll be coming out, or maybe tomorrow at the latest. But I'm really excited about this video. It's going to be very interesting. A sort of hidden clue about season 3 from all the way back in 2009, guys. So like less than a year after the original R2 was finished airing, there was a clue that Phantom Black found. I don't want to reveal too much because it's going to be in the video, but definitely want to say what up to Phantom Black. He did a great job, and a few of us in the Discord server really came up with this video idea. So if you guys want to join our Discord server, the link is in the description. Basically, there we discuss Code Geass and other anime any time of day, any time of night. There's people from Europe, there's people from Asia, there's people from North America, Latin America, and we're just discussing anime all the time, discussing Code Geass all the time, and we come up with ideas, we find cool information, and then oftentimes those ideas turn into videos, like the case with this thing that Phantom Black brought out. So yeah, definitely check out our Discord server if you want to stay in touch with us on a day-to-day basis, just chatting, all that kind of stuff. And I also want to say that the latest news that we have on the Code Geass Japanese website, there was a new, yesterday I believe they posted a new article, but it was basically about the special DVD release of the anniversary special DVD release that will be coming out in April. And it's basically, so they're only saying, okay, let me kind of read the details. But what they were essentially saying is there's going to be some extra features. It comes out, you can book pre-order in Japan by March 15th. It comes out on April 21st, the Blu-ray and DVD special anniversary edition. There's going to be some extras, like you're going to be able to get a character design by Takahiro Kimura, if you're one of the lucky winners. So like no specifics. They're just kind of telling you what the price is to pre-order the special anniversary edition, that kind of stuff. So that is the latest news from the website. I wish we had more direct news, obviously, about the sequel and things like that. However, there are rumors circling that the Blu-ray, that special anniversary Blu-ray release is going to feature extra scenes and extra tips and hints about what's going to happen in the sequel. That is the rumor right now. So we're waiting to find out. April 21st is the release date, and they are hyping it up on the official Code Geass Japanese website. So, you know, people are pre-ordering all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to finding out what's in there.
For sure, and we got to be on top of that. We gotta order that to show everybody first. Even though, considering we're in Canada, we might get the short end of the stick as usual.
Yeah, we gotta we gotta recruit Japanese hackers is what we have to do, guys. So if you're a Japanese hacker, join us on our Discord server. So together we're gonna know what happens in Code Geass Season 3 before the creators know, bro. That's the goal.
Literally, we need someone who can speak Japanese and English, so that anytime we have a problem with translation, it's easy. We got it set up, you know. Or we should learn Japanese, but that might take longer. Let's just give Briggs that responsibility.
Yeah, I was thinking about taking it in school, so you never know.
That's awesome. You have it in class. That's an option.
Not at Ryerson where I'm at, but there's a school near where I live that has it, and I was thinking about doing that next summer.
That's awesome. No, you should, man, and it would help. It would help anime YouTubers so much. Like,
yeah, just hire me.
Yeah.
By the way, Deep Voice asks, when will the Q&A portion begin? You can ask questions if you have any questions about Code Geass Season 3. You can ask at any time. Basically, all we know so far in terms of the release dates is that the movies are supposed to be coming out soon, but we don't know exactly when. Like I said, on the Discord server, we've been researching every day, looking at the Code Geass Japanese website, looking at news. We don't have any specifics yet about the movies or about the sequel. All we know is that the sequel is supposed to be coming out in the second half of 2017, and the movies, the recap movies, in the first half of 2017. That's all we know so far. I wish we knew more. We're looking every day for more news. But yeah, if you have questions, go ahead. Right now, I'll be looking in the chat.
I wonder if you're gonna throw some like things into the recap movies that like will hint what's gonna happen in season 3 a little bit more, like some little like Easter eggs.
I definitely think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go crazy over it. We're like, look at this one scene. That millisecond was not in the original.
Look at that Pizza Hut logo. Look at the fine print.
It would be weird though if like Pizza Hut's no longer sponsoring them and they just like strategically like took out all of the Pizza Hut references. But some new comedic things, some new clues as to what season 3 is going to bring, some new call-in fan service, and we're good. I think that's solid movies happening.
By the way, we had someone ask, Wicked Thunder asked, can he send me some theories that he has so we can discuss them? You can send them to on the Discord server, bro. Just send it to me. You can private message me or send it there in the discussions that we have, and I will look at them. And if it's like really interesting stuff, we'll definitely talk about it in future streams, even on in future videos. So feel free to like message me on Discord. And Deep, where is my bro? Deep Voice asks about Cornelia. What are our thoughts on Cornelia for season 3? And actually, it's interesting because I thought Cornelia initially died when she got shot by Schneisel, like in the second last episode or third last. I don't remember right now exactly, but near the end of R2, I thought she died, which is interesting because she always reminds me of a character from Rose of Versailles, which is a anime from the 70s about the French Revolution, in which a female, like a female soldier called Lady Oscar de Gerges. She's dressed like Cornelia, and like she's female, she has long hair and all that, but she has like kind of a uniform and all that kind of stuff. She's a military leader, and I always thought that Cornelia was based on her. And in that anime, that character ends up being shot at the end. So I thought that that was going to be an homage to that, and that Cornelia was going to die. But then they ended up showing us later on that Cornelia actually survived. And then we did see Cornelia in the PV, in the teaser trailer. And she looks to be going towards an ancient temple, as if she's researching something, she's looking for something, because she was by herself. She didn't look like she was leading an army in the middle of a fight or anything. She seemed to be looking for something. So yeah, I think that's an interesting thing, because we saw two ancient temples, what looked like two ancient temples in the teaser. So again, that makes me think that we're going to be exploring the origins of Code and Geass in the sequel, that there's going to be ancient temple stuff. I'm guessing maybe Cornelia is trying to research Geass power, because as you recall, she infiltrated the Geass order in order to figure out what Charles was doing in R2. So it's possible that she wants to now continue her research to see what is happening with Geass by looking at ancient temples scattered around the globe, trying to find out more. So that's what I'm thinking right now, why Cornelia appeared in the teaser trailer. That's my thinking right now. We'll have to see.
Yeah, for Cornelia, I mean, even looking at her character from the beginning, she's pretty horrible. Like, she probably gets some character development throughout, but she really does not care about the Japanese or the 11s. I mean, she considers them vermin. She wants to wipe them out. Although she is nice to obviously Yuffie and close family, but yeah, I would not want her to be in power. I feel like even though Lelouch almost makes her look good by the end of it, but she's actually a terrible person. So it would be bad for her to become like a person in power. And we have a lot of questions asking like, when is season 3 coming out? Like, what month? Yeah, so all we know now is that it'll be like, we're thinking it's going to be at the end of this year, but we don't know the exact month. They haven't been kind enough to specify. They probably want to keep that flexibility just in case there are any issues.
And Richard O'Keefe asks, do we think that they'll expand on that being that was introduced in the end of Akito the Exiled? So that female being with Code that is a representation of pure consciousness. So she doesn't have a physical form. She only has a spiritual form. I honestly hope so. I think that would be an interesting thing to explore. Like, again, I hope we get a third season, a full season, where in the beginning maybe they'll just start slow and then build up to the whole pure consciousness being. Because if you look at our latest Code Geass video, the top 5 hidden messages in Code Geass, you can definitely see that I try to argue that I feel like that being will come into importance, that it's going to be very important, because I try to argue in that video that that being is actually tied closely to the origins of Geass, the ancient civilization that created it, and what we think of as God in Code Geass. I believe that essentially that being is a representation of that. So if you're interested in that, if you haven't seen that video yet, check it out. I left a link in the description to our whole playlist, Code Geass playlist, and the top video is that one, top 5 hidden messages in the original series. So definitely check that out, because I talk about that near the end, that being in particular from Akito the Exiled.
Is Akito the Exile considered canon?
I believe it is. I believe it is, because it takes place between the first and second season, and there's nothing to contradict what happens in the second season. So I believe it's considered canon. Now, we don't know how much it'll play a role in the third season, but I do believe it's considered canon unless stated otherwise.
Yeah, if it's canon, I think that being is definitely going to have some type of like role in it. What's like in some way. Someone else asked the question before if they think Lelouch is going to have code or his Geass power, and I wanted to ask you guys: do you think it's possible to have both? Because I know like it's pretty like safe to say he unlocked code in the end, and that's how he's like probably gonna come back, right? But do you guys think it's possible to have both?
Yeah, I can take this one. I think that definitely adds.
Just to Andy PL is asking about the person in the end of Akito the Exiled. Yeah, bro, if you look at our videos, if you look at top 5 hidden messages in Code Geass, if you look at top 10 shocking theories about Code Geass Season 3, we talk about that being in particular, who we think she is. So definitely check that out. And someone else had something. Let me just yes. People are asking if the ancient temples shown in the PV could be in Austria, but I assume that person meant Australia. And yeah, I definitely think that the temples could be in Australia, that there's going to be some stuff happening with Australia, because it is so, the creators go out of their way in the anime to make it, to make Australia separate from all the other countries. It's always gray on the maps, right? So there is something there. They could have just made it part of any other country. They could have made it part of Britannia, but they didn't. And I feel like there is a reason for that. Also, Mao wants to take C2 and escape with her to Australia, again implying that Australia is a good place to hide for some reason, like it's not that well known. So I definitely think that there could be ancient temples in Australia, that Australia is going to play a role. And in the next video that will be coming out on Code Geass, which again I'm excited for, we found something from 2009 that seems to predict a Season 3, that seems to show a scene from Season 3. So definitely stay tuned for that. Today or tomorrow that video will be out. But there we will also talk about Australia. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Go ahead, Briggs or Goes, and I'm not sure.
No, I was just saying that, yeah, we did in our theories video the idea of him having both code and Geass, because the idea would be that he got code from Charles, but since he still has his contract with C2, Briggs both would work. That's kind of the theory. So potential.
Actually, I watched that. I was just like, because like he got code from Charles, and that's like what we have confirmed. So I'm saying like, so like he would have the Geass because the contract's still like together with.
Yeah, and it's
C2.
completely speculation. I mean, but
Yeah.
because we never seen that before, but it would be cool. And like, why would it be called Code Geass if we move away from that? You know what I mean? And it's cool how
True,
it's
like
Code and Geass, so it's like
that's
together.
literally the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's like I can't imagine a Season 3 without him having some type of Geass power.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like Code Geass is so good at just kind of taking a lot of stuff that Death Note does, and just in my opinion, like obviously sometimes it does it worse, but sometimes doing it better. And the Geass is like the Death Note. It has so many rules that he's learning about. And instead of Ryuk, he has like C2, a hot chick. So it's a good
better.
formula. It's a good formula.
Do we have any information on the contracts, like on how those work?
Anna Mac, what do you think about how the contracts work?
Yeah, so one interesting thing about the contract that we're looking at that we don't know is the contract is initially, the way we see it, it's you have to fulfill a certain wish from the person with code in order, that's part of the contract. So you get this power, and in return, when you can, meaning when your Geass develops to a certain level, you have to fulfill that person's wish. Now, we know that for the Nun, and initially for C2, when she first makes a contract with Lelouch, their wish is to die. Their wish is so that because the only way someone with code can die that we know of is that when someone with Geass in both eyes, whose Geass develops in both eyes, decides to kill them and take the code from them. So code has to be taken away by someone who is willing to take it and who has Geass in both eyes. So that's why, for example, C2 abandons Mao, because Mao is not willing to kill C2 because she is the only one that whose mind he can't read. So he wants to spend the rest of his life with him. He would never kill her and take code from her. So that's why she abandons him and looks for someone else. But now the question is, does this contract then stay like this? So it means that Lelouch has to kill C2 in order for the contract to be fulfilled, or if C2 changes her wish and she no longer wants to die, she wants to live happily with Lelouch, does that mean then that the contract changes as well, so that Lelouch doesn't have to kill her anymore to fulfill the contract? We're not sure about that, but yeah, that is the big question with the contracts.
Did you say that they have to be willing to do it? Both parties have to be willing to do it?
I believe so, yeah.
But what about
I
C2?
think you have to take code from
How about
someone
the way C2
willingly.
Do you think C2 willingly wanted to take it from the Nun?
Well, C2 is shown with the Nun. C2 is shown as young, first of all, and naive in that scene. And also she is shown as being tired of her Geass power, which makes everyone love her no matter what. So I think that the Nun could definitely have convinced her that, if you don't want that power anymore, just kill me and you'll be immortal, but no, you won't have to worry about everyone loving you all the time and that kind of stuff. So I do think that you have to take it willingly.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting theory. And what I do like about Code Geass is it could be taken from C2's perspective as just her search for meaning in life, which is another cool way to look at it, rather than just focusing on Lelouch.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, and if you look at Phantom Black says C2 took code to live because she was dying. So yeah, we don't know exactly what happens in that scene. We see the scene where the Nun is dead with a pool of blood, and C2 is clearly has a pool of blood around her and seems to be dying. So we don't know what happened. What could have happened is perhaps the Nun forced C2 to take the code by injuring her first and saying the only way you'll survive now is to accept the code from me. We don't know because we just have the scene of her talking to the Nun, and then it flashes to them already both looking dead with a pool of blood around them. But so we don't know exactly what happened, who killed who did what. But it could be that the Nun manipulated C2, saying you'll die unless you take the code from me. And I feel that that would definitely be possible.
There was a good question by Radioactive who asked, what would Lelouch's wish be if he were to give out a Geass? So I think that's a good question. And one of the big things is going to be what's going to be Lelouch's kind of motivations in the next season. Because is it going to still be just to keep Nonly safe, or are they going to try to expand it somehow? That's going to be interesting to see. What do you guys think?
He makes a contract with Colin.
Oh, yeah. What is his wish, Briggs?
I can't think of anything. I could think of some things, but something that would be realistic and drive the season. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Animac?
Well,
what his wish would be?
Lelouch's wish is to create a just and peaceful world, right?
Yeah, it was.
How exactly that wish would manifest, we don't know, but it is an interesting question.
But maybe because we have speculations that he might not be directly able to get involved because he faked his death, right? So maybe he'll get someone to give someone Geass in order to do do his thing, do his job, but to maintain peace. But he'll kind of just be the puppet master in the background, or maybe he needs someone there to protect Nonely, type of thing. Well, because he can't, I don't know.
And that works because, I mean, he's always been, even in the beginning, he's always been in the background. Even at Zero, he's been hiding his identity. So, I mean, that's not going to be a stretch to think that he's going to continue hiding, because pretty much all of Code Geass is him hiding until the very end. And he's always the one that's in the nightmare frames, like doing all the chess moves. I don't know how people know if they're B4. It's like B4, right ahead, destroy the bridge. It's like, how do you know you're B4? I have no idea. But anyways, he's always the one who's in the background, and that doesn't make it any less exciting. That's the cool part. Like, even though he's in the background, he's not really in the fight sometimes. It's so exciting just hearing him like say, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and then it works well. And sometimes it doesn't, which is why Code Geass is so good.
Yeah.
Anime Dude says, what did I miss? I just woke up. You missed exactly everything that happens in Code Geass Season 3. Like, we got it confirmed. We got all the sources. You missed that. We're never going to repeat it again.
We had a Japanese hacker in here at one point.
Actually, the Anime Dude, I invited him to come join us in the stream if he's able to. So if he is, that would be cool. I sent you the link, bro. And
I'm Lelouch, guys. We've established in the chat that I'm Lelouch.
By the way, guys, in the chat, if you have friends who like Code Geass, if you like discussing this kind of stuff, if you're like me who wanted to discuss it for 10 years but then couldn't find a place to do it because, you know, it was an old anime 10 years ago. It was aired, so if you go to like forums, all the replies are like from 9 months ago. You can't have a proper discussion. Feel free to invite all your friends here to the channel, to the Discord server. Like I said, the Discord server is in the description. We chat about Code Geass all the time and other anime on a daily basis. We have people from every continent, so at every time of day there's something going on. And be sure to like join us. If you don't know what Discord is, it's just a free app like Twitter, but it's a chat room app. So you go in there and you're in a chat room server. You get the chats completely free. You just have to register an account. So definitely we'd love to have you in there, because not only do we talk about different theories in there and talk about our favorite anime, we also talk about things that end up becoming videos. So if you want to be part of deciding what the next video is going to be, if you want to be featured in the video, definitely join the Discord server. We'd love to have you over there. And yeah, I just love that we're forming this awesome community of anime fans, because I personally always wanted to discuss Code Geass, you know, the whole Lelouch being dead or not dead. And all I could ever find is like old forum messages, old Reddit messages, right? So I'm so glad that now we have a much more interactive community here. And thank you all for being here, for being part of the channel, for coming and discussing, being part of the live streams and chatting. It really means a lot to us as fans. We are all fans together. So that's the best thing.
Yeah, I would love you guys.
Honestly, I'm so surprised how active the Discord chat. It's an awesome place to go talk about anime. I had a nice heated discussion with Sol Maka, I think it was, about Amelia and Rem. Like, it got pretty heated, not gonna lie.
Yeah, we have heated discussions. That's the only discussions worth having, right?
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ivy League Potential says.
That's why season. All right, go Animac.
Ivy League Potential says, from every continent, Animac 2017. That's right, bro. Even from the mysterious continent of Australia. But no, we had some pretty funny comments because in the latest video that we did, the hidden messages in Code Geass, we talked about Australia, and there was a few people commenting, like Aussies from Australia, saying, "Yeah, no wonder no one wants to be in Australia because we have all these spiders and stuff like that." It's like, no wonder they didn't want to colonize it. They came there, they're like, "Oh, spiders and wild dogs. Oh, we're just gonna turn around and go back on the ship and leave." So yeah, it was cool. We do have people watching from Australia as well. So yeah, let us know, guys, what's going on over there. What's all the mystery about?
Yeah, people watching from Italy too. It's awesome.
That's
people from all over the world. Go ahead.
What's your main like demographic for like your audience demographic?
I think it's 18 to 24 males.
Yeah, but in terms of geographic.
So it's mostly US, and then after that it's the Philippines.
Woo!
Yeah, shout out to the Philippines. What's up, guys? We got a lot of people watching from the Philippines. So yeah, a lot of Code Geass fans in the Philippines. We have then Canada and the UK, and then we have like France and Spain and a bunch of other countries. So yeah, we really do have people watching everywhere, and that means a lot. And like I said, in the Discord, sometimes people are going discussing things at a time when I'm sleeping. Like it's 4 a.m. here and people are still discussing stuff in the Discord because they're from other time zones, right? So it's pretty awesome. And then like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, good morning, guys. They're like, bro, I'm about to go to bed. It's like 8 o'clock in the Philippines. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm glad Canada actually makes top 3 for you. I have like no Canadian audience.
Oh, look.
We're your Canadian audience, bro.
Yeah, basically.
Our
Saudi Arabia
says Kazakhstan too. So we have Kazakhstan, we have Saudi Arabia. Yeah, guys in the chat, if you want to let us know where you're from, that would be cool. That's a very cool thing. We always love hearing where you guys are from and all the different people that YouTube allows us to connect with. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, the craziest one is Evernt. He's from Michigan, man. Like so exotic. So exotic.
Michigan. Woo, we're from Ontario, but we're from Southern Ontario. Like Michigan is not too far from us. Like probably a 3-hour drive. So yeah, I've been to Michigan.
Zero is from Brazil. Nice.
Oh man. That's
Is
awesome.
it the anime dude?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Welcome, bro.
Sorry I'm late. I just woke up. I stayed up too late working on videos and stuff, and I just kept sleeping. I didn't know I was supposed to wake up.
As long as you have good Code Geass content, bro, we're all good.
Yeah, we have a bunch of people from Texas, from the USA, and then Lelouch v Britannia says, I'm from Britannia, hence why I hate it.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Nicely done. What's up, anime dude?
Not much, man. Good to see you, Briggs.
You too. I'm so horrible at multitasking. Like I have zero multitasking ability. If I look at the chat, I like no words come. Like it's horrible.
Briggs, that's everyone. Scientifically proven. It's everyone.
That is true.
Not just you.
There's been multiple times in Rant Cafe where you guys like call my name and like I answer, but I have no idea what you guys are talking about because someone asked me a question in the chat or something.
Just say call it or C2 whenever you're like lost.
Colin is best girl and can't argue.
Yeah.
We have people from Brazil, from Greece, from the Chinese Federation, from Singapore. Wow, that's so cool. We got someone from Minnesota.
From Jupiter.
What up, Minnesota? How you guys doing? We have, and I was gonna say another thing. I was gonna say is the anime dude. Welcome, bro. I recently watched your video about how anime impacted your life, and like I really felt connected to that. I really appreciate that. That was deep, man. So I would encourage all you guys, check out the link in the description. I put the anime dude there and the link to his video about how anime influenced his life in like a very deep and profound way. Like it really spoke to me. Definitely check him out. He seems like a great guy. He's always so supportive of us. And I subscribe to you today, bro, anime dude, because you're really a great guy and we're happy to have you here on the stream.
Thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. Briggs introduced me to your content, and as you know, Code Geass is my favorite show of all time, so it was an instant click right there. That's what I can't stop watching your stuff, so I keep learning new things every day.
That's amazing.
The anime dude is a huge fan of Code Geass. It's his #1 anime, so of course, we love to have him here. He's always a great contribution, addition to the team. So yeah, and like again, without this Code Geass announcement, without this invigoration within the community, we never would have all met each other and created this awesome community. So it is, sometimes things really work out well. So that's cool.
Definitely.
And I need to check out that video. Like I literally can't wait to see it.
Oh, it's such a well done video. It's pretty inspiring, to be honest.
Awesome. Anime inspiration, like that's my favorite kind of inspiration.
No, yeah, like I was like, why do I turn down the light so you guys can see me better? I was emotionally affected by that video. So yeah, I definitely encourage everybody to check out in the description here. You can see both All Day Anime's channel, who is awesome, Briggs, our boy. We're going to be doing a lot more collabs together in the future. And also, of course, the anime dude, the video. It's deep, man. And I think a lot of us as anime fans will relate to it and the struggles that we face sometimes in life and with anime and unrelated to anime. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'm going to be checking the chat a little bit, guys, but take it away. Say whatever you want to say.
Oh, my bad. I was checking the chat.
Oh, did you, Creep Ellen just brought it up. Did you guys see Maclenaut's video about Code Geass?
Yes, of course. They
were quite legit. It was hilarious.
No, that was like, I mean, we pride ourselves on doing the research and stuff, but I mean, that was solid theories. That was some solid theories. Definitely, guys, check out Maclenaut's video if you haven't. I mean, he always produces amazing content, very serious content, so check it out.
All the serious.
All the serious.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
that's what. Whenever I was watching it, there at the end, he was like, "As you can tell, I ran out of ideas." But I was like, "Well, I thought that was genius."
Yeah, he always breaks the fourth wall. He's always like, I don't know, guys. Do I just leave? I don't know how to end the video. I don't know. No, it's hilarious. I love the part when he's teaching blind children, because he's not blind children. He's teaching sign language. Lelouch is teaching sign language. That was the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, that works so much. And the music they played was beautiful. It was great. Well done.
Oh.
And then someone, let's see here. Joe mentioned talking about Mao. No, we haven't. Usually people don't request that. So Joe, why would we talk about Mao? What do you?
No, Joe asked why C2 would give Mao Geass at the age of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously he went crazy. So it seems like a really irresponsible move. So yeah, that is a good question, because we know C2 is hundreds of years old at this point. So why would she give Geass to a child, knowing that that's such a great burden? And of course, we know that Mao cannot control the effects of his Geass. He can read everyone's minds, and then that really affects him, and then he goes crazy. And I think that the only thing I can think of is perhaps at this point C2 is so desperate. We don't know what's going on in her life at this point exactly, but she's so desperate to find anyone to like fulfill the contract to allow her to die, that she then picks a child who she feels like, oh, maybe I'll help him because he's struggling in other aspects of his life. But yeah, clearly it doesn't work out at the end. He goes mad, and we know what happens. He creates a lot of problems. So yeah, like I don't know if she did that trying to help him or out of desperation. It's an interesting question though, Joe.
I think it makes sense to do it to a child, because children are I guess a little bit easier to manipulate, and you could raise them with that mindset of okay, once you get a little control your Geass, you could fulfill my wish. I feel like it's easier to set up a children's morals and get set them down a path than someone who's already fully grown.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely do get a very mature C2 when we start Code Geass. She seems like she's on top of everything. She knows everything, but we see a few chinks in the armor later on. She does break down sometimes. So that could have been a moment where she broke down, or she could have seen a child as an easy person to manipulate. And I mean, she couldn't really predict him falling in love with her, right?
Yeah.
Another thing we got to remember though is he was all alone. He didn't have any parents or anything. So whenever she did approach him, she was all he had. She had to rely on him. But Code Geass manifests in a person based on their, how should I say, their personalities. It's different for every person.
Yeah.
So there's no way she could have known that it was going to manifest as something as common as reading people's minds, that you just can't control. I don't think she knew it could have been something like that extreme. That was just kind of luck of the draw.
It's was it revealed why he received that power? What brought that? Because Code Geass, their Geass power is obviously it has to do with their deepest desire, their personality, their will, what they want. And so what would bring Mao to get that power?
Yeah, maybe Mao was just always oh, what are people talking about? He wanted to know what people are thinking, because he feels like they're judging him or something. Maybe that's where it sprouted from.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting thing. I always think about Geass and what different Geass people would have and why. Yeah. I would think that perhaps Mao being an orphan and lonely, he would feel like an outsider. So if you feel like an outsider, the ultimate thing for you is to know what other people are thinking, then you're no longer an outsider, right?
Then
you're you know them kind of intimately. So perhaps that's what caused it. I also want to address Natsu Fired Up had a question about the mechas in season 3. Do we think that they're going to have kind of the same mechas like the Guren and so forth, or are they going to have some new stuff coming in? And I personally think that they probably will have the classics, Guren, Shinkiro. We saw Shinkiro in the teaser, but updated, of course, because they always, throughout the anime, they update them to better models. And I also think that they're probably going to have new mechas. We know in Akito the Exiled, for all its faults, it definitely has cool mecha designs. It has mechas that move in different ways, like spiders, like a horse. They look more powerful, quicker, able to climb mountains, all this kind of stuff, right? So I feel like we're definitely going to be seeing new mecha designs in Season 3. Perhaps Akito the Exiled is a hint in what they're going to look like. Perhaps they're going to be able to go to space, because in Akito the Exiled, they use rockets to launch them into space. So yeah, I think that we're going to be seeing the classic models updated, and also new types of mechas that move in different ways, perhaps going into space, all that kind of stuff.
I like Zero's comment. He suggests, like, will they have kangaroo nightmare frames? That might be why Australia is still independent.
That's why no one messes with Australia, man. They're just kind of over there doing their own thing. No one wants to mess with Kangaroo Nightmare.
I've never been a fan of mechas, to be honest, but
really?
Code Geass goes about it in such a tactical way that I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I know, I find a lot of times it comes down to who has the better mech, but that's not how it works in Code Geass at all, really.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was still, Suzaku was still overpowered at one point in time.
Yeah, and when that black, I forget what it's called, but the black nightmare, the one that Lelouch and C2 grab. Yeah, what is it, anime dude?
I can't remember what it's called, but
but that one just like changed the game up. Like when that one came out, it was just like, whoa.
Are you talking about the Shinkiro?
Yeah, is it the black one with the wings?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one changed the game up.
Yeah, it definitely like impacts the battle who has like a stronger mech, but it's not solely like relied on that, because it comes down to a lot of strategies and stuff. Yeah, and that's what like brought me into the series. If it was more like this mech focused, I probably wouldn't be able to get into it.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I was frustrated at the points where Suzaku was so overpowered with the Lancelot. Like, everyone else, Lelouch would do all this strategy and plan everything out, and then the Lancelot just comes in with all this extreme technology and then just crushes everyone. And it was really frustrating. But then they introduced Rakshata, who was helping the Black Knights kind of keep up technologically with the Lancelot. But yeah, I think Suzaku in general is very frustrating of a character to me, because he's so overpowered. He's so good. He's so athletic. He's so like, man, enough, Suzaku. Enough, bro.
Nobody even likes you.
That used to always frustrate me, but whenever you kind of think about it, technological advancements is one of the biggest aspects of warfare. That's happened constantly throughout history. Anytime a new thing is invented or an upgrade happens, that changes the entire way the war is going. You can look at it: nuclear bombs, Hiroshima. Yeah. That changed World War II. I'm sure you can find multiple examples. I'm not a history buff, but.
For sure.
But just because it's like realistic, I don't know. I don't watch anime for any sort of realism whatsoever. That's just my type of thing. Like, it's so true though. Like, having the technological advantage over someone, even the slightest edge, makes the hugest difference in warfare, which is definitely shown in Code Geass. But for me, this I don't like seeing like overpowered. Like, I don't know. I don't want it to come down to the mech. I want it to come down to the strategy, the person's will. Like,
I'm with you.
No, I think that's definitely what they're going to do. I mean, they're definitely never going to make it just about the mechs. There's always some chance of outsmarting the other person. Yeah. That's always going to be there. But yeah, I feel you. I don't usually watch mecha anime, except like Gurren Lagann, if that could be considered a mecha. And also, I did like Gundam Seed. I did like that. But otherwise, I didn't really watch any. But Code Geass, you're right. It's like a different ball game for sure.
Yeah, and like the strategy is what's more interesting to me than just, who's a better fighter. It's like, but I'm a better strategist, right? Like, so, Napoleon won his battles not because he was the strongest physically, but because he had the best strategy. Mm-hmm. Tristan Mayo actually just asked an interesting question. He said, well, if the bad guy in the next season is going to be someone from the ancient civilization, then how is that going to work, since we already established that they seem to have advanced beyond physical form? So how can Lelouch possibly kill a god in the sense of Code Geass? So yeah, that is an interesting question. Perhaps that would then mean that Lelouch's Geass would have to advance to a higher power. Like we know, people mentioned that green Geass might be a thing now, that it might be like a higher level of Geass after Geass in both eyes. We don't know, but I definitely think that would be an interesting question. Like, how do you fight something that is not physical, something that could be anywhere at any time? So then a whole new whole new rules would have to be introduced, whole new limitations, powers. So that would be interesting. It could be done really well. It could be also done in a weird way that kind of sticks out and that is going to alienate fans. But I hope they do it in a good way. And I think that it has a lot of potential in that sense. And someone also asked, let me just see, will the Flea, Helvian asked, will the Flea play a part? I don't know. I know that the Damocles was destroyed by the sun, and the Damocles had Fleas on board. I don't know if there's more Fleas out there that we don't know about. It could play a part. I'm not sure what kind of part. It all depends. Again, it depends where they go with the plot. If they're going to go with the ancient civilization that's metaphysical, that no longer has a physical form, then the Flea is not going to work on them. So it's going to have to be more of a Geass style battle. So like Geass is going to be crucial. If they go with a physical enemy, like a more advanced mecha, then yeah, mechas are going to be a big deal, and Fleas and things like that. I personally, if I was creating the third season, and if it's a full season, if it's just a movie, you can't do everything in the movie. But if it's a third season, the way I would do is I would start with physical enemies. So, a civil war or new mechas and things like that. And then I would build up to the whole thing. The whole plot for the Civil War was actually hatched by the ancient civilization, the spiritual forms, for some other purpose. So then you advance beyond those enemies to new enemies, to higher and more powerful enemies, which is how seasons tend to work. They build up to something greater. So I would personally do it that way. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that I want to see the political situation. Like I like the politics that they included here. So we'll see. I mean, I would miss that, but I think at the end of the day, I can't picture a metaphysical enemy just because I don't understand. Even if it's a metaphysical enemy, they'd have some physical kind of avatars or some kind of minions that are doing their work. Because, I mean, Lelouch's strategizing is very much based off of like physical beings, right? So that's what I'm wondering. Yeah. How do you fight a metaphysical enemy? So.
Well, if he has the ability to give Geass, he could always just give somebody the drill Geass, tell him to pierce the heavens.
Yes.
But, no, I really do like what Animax said right there. Whenever I first watched the ending of Code Geass Season 2, my first thoughts were, would this really create world peace, or would it create more political strife of people trying to make a power grab? Because that seems like it created a lot of conflict on its own right there, in my mind. Just the fact that everybody's under one leader, that leader's suddenly gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now the world is basically free for the taking. But that didn't really seem like it's on near as grand a scale as it would the extraterrestrials that he's brought up. So I feel like if they were to have like one battle on the Earth without the extraterrestrial beings, and then build up and go from one battle to a more grand battle to more grand battle, I feel like that could really work for him if they did it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, if the extraterrestrials would probably work out pretty well, because I feel like in his death, even though it would probably bring up a lot of political like issues, it kind of united everyone together in the end, right? So it's kind of like they're united all together, and then they're facing off against like a non-human threat, even if it is like a metaphysical something or some terrestrials or something like that, like some like non-human threat. The fact that they've been united together and then they can fight them together type of thing is probably a good way to start off Season 3, but who knows?
I will say I did realize the second time I watched it through, I was like, well, they are united underneath the Zero Requiem, so there is still a military force there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as easy to make a power grab, but still.
By the way, Phantom Black asks who we think might die in Season 3. And we actually had a few people talk about, well, I think in the chat, everyone's saying that Nina needs to die. So people are not a big fan of Nina. However, I also, a few people I saw mentioned Suzaku might die. So I don't know about that. Like, I personally don't like Suzaku. I don't like the guy. I think that his moral compass is completely off. He helps his own oppressors. He's a quisling, essentially. And I don't like the guy at all. But I don't know if they're going to kill him off because he's such a popular character. Like, I wouldn't mind if they killed him off and if they did it well. But I'm afraid they might kill off Orange or something, because you saw in the PV, in the teaser trailer, you see Orange being attacked. So we don't know. They might kill him off. They might kill off some other like characters like Tamaki. Hopefully not Ogi. He has children now. I hope they obviously, if they kill off Colin or something, I'm done, man.
Yeah.
I'm buying a ticket to Japan right now and freaking out, protesting. But and by the way, if you want to join my protest, hashtag save Colin.
Save Colin, yeah.
But a few people in the chat also asked, like, could there be cloning involved so that, you know, people that are already dead, like Mao or something, could be brought back? I hope not. I mean, it's possible, but I hope not, just because I think that's kind of cheap to kill people off and then just bring them back in like kind of an unrealistic way.
Yeah.
If you look at like Seven Deadly Sins, like I enjoy the show, I think it's really fun, but I also don't like how everyone seems to come back to life after they're killed.
Yeah.
Including the pig. Including the freaking pig.
It's not even, it's never actually explained. Like most times people come back, it's explained, but with Hawk, it's never been explained why he came back. He just like somehow survived it.
I was guessing it was Elizabeth's power.
No, but he wasn't affected by Elizabeth. He wasn't affected by Elizabeth's power, apparently. I don't know. I'm literally like just wrote out like a 3-page script for a video about. I'm making a video about a pig. So like I don't know what my life's come to.
This is my life.
This is my life right now. But I've been researching Hawk, and that's one thing that annoyed me. And I was doing research to figure out like how he survived, and there is literally nothing. It was like specifically stated that like he wasn't affected by Elizabeth's power.
All right, yeah, we should anime dude pointed out, yeah, we don't want to ruin it for anyone, so let's be careful about spoilers.
I can watch all
I mean,
of it.
whatever.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Okay,
This is spoiler central. You know, when we're discussing theories, you know there's going to be spoilers, guys.
Yeah.
But Flood of Gales says that he thinks that they won't kill off Orange because he's such a popular character, and that's why they brought him back, because he's such a meme. He's so like an interesting character. I agree. I hope they don't kill him off, but you never know, because like look at Game of Thrones, right? They kill off popular characters almost on purpose just to spite you. Now I hope they don't do that with Code Geass, but you know, sometimes if they kill off a popular character like Suzaku and they do it well and for a good reason, I would understand. But like then there's also characters that if they, like I said, with Colin and save Colin hashtag is trending down in the chat. Like with that would be a deal breaker for me. You can't do that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be L 2.0.
Depending on how some characters die, that might actually increase their popularity.
I don't even know how to spell Colin.
It works sometimes. Like for Kamina, I think it worked. But
No.
But for Colin, I don't want to see
not
it.
for Colin, no.
I think literally I love Kamina and I was sad to see him go, but I think the show could not have progressed as well if he stayed alive.
I agree with that as well. Like you needed his brother to follow up in his.
A real man
in our hearts,
die even when he's killed.
Yeah, it's true.
He died, but he
deal with it. Deal with it.
He was there.
A man doesn't die until he's forgotten. One Piece.
Yeah, so Kamina will never die, even though he never existed.
We know Animac will never forget him at the very least.
True.
No.
True.
No, he died because he was in anime heaven over on Makonaut's video.
Also, yes, in Makonaut's video. Oh, Mac. So Wicked Thunder raised some things in the Discord. And by the way, guys, if you want to come into the Discord server, the link is in the description. It's a free app where we basically chat about Code Geass and other anime 24/7 whenever anyone's on. And we have over 200 people in there now. So definitely join us if you want to stay up to date on everything, if you want to get the news first, if you want to know which videos are coming out first, if you want to be the first to know before they come out. And some of the theories that Wicked Thunder shared in here is he thinks that Lelouch might actually become the main villain of the next series, but it might be for different reasons. So, for example, he might attack the United Federation of Nations for some reason. Perhaps they're not doing something right, or perhaps he wants to see if they're actually, if they're corrupt or something. He wants to test them. So I don't know. I think that Lelouch being a villain is definitely possible because he was kind of the villain at the end of R2. So depending on why he comes back and what happens there, I think the villain idea is definitely a possibility. What do you guys think?
I think anti-hero would be a possibility. Like, I mean, he could perform villainous actions, but I think he'll always have good intentions. That's my thought.
That's a fair enough thought, but in my mind, he's already done all that stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah, basically. So
He
he's
did all stuff
kind of
too. He already attacked the Federation of Nations. He already became the villain to the entire world. Yeah, everyone else sees him as a villain still, besides the few that know. So Suzaku, Nunnally.
Yeah, I'm just talking from our perspective, because like I still don't think Lelouch is a villain personally, but that's up for interpretation.
100%. I don't think he'll ever be a villain. 100%. Maybe anti-hero. He might do bad things.
Artem Uzakov says that in one of the scenes he noticed that Kazakhstan was joining the army, like I'm guessing the World Federation Army. I don't remember that scene actually, bro, but if you have it, feel free to link it in the Discord. I'd like to see that, where you spotted that, because yeah, that's cool, of course. And yeah, someone asked, who was, I think it was Joe Smith, do we think that things like nationalism and ethnic identity and racism might play a role in Code Geass, the sequel? And I think definitely with racism, we saw that in the original, right? We saw how the Britannians, the nobles, thought less of the Japanese, called them 11s and things like that. And I assume they do the same thing in other areas they've conquered, right? So Middle East and whatever, they consider themselves to be superior. And also, I think nationalism will definitely play a role, in my opinion, because I'm someone who studies political science, right, guys? And I've always seen, if you study politics, it's impossible to create a world state, like a global army. Like, you know, that at the end of R2, the Zero Requiem tries to create a sort of, the Black Knights become one world army, and no one else is allowed to have armies and mechas except the Black Knights. Now, I think that's a really bad idea, because there's a big difference between one country, in Asia and a country in Africa and South America, and they all have different cultural beliefs, different interests, different strategic things that they need to do. So for them to be told by someone external, you can't have an army anymore, we'll do your protecting for you, I think that will definitely cause a lot of resentment, a lot of backlash. And so I think that nationalism and people rebelling against this idea of having a one world army like the Black Knights, or whether it is just like in our modern world, if the UN one day said we're going to have an army and we're going to protect you all and you can't have your own armies anymore, and Americans, you can't have your guns, I think, I don't think that would go over well at all. So yeah, I definitely think that could be a big issue.
America.
Revolt. That'd be World War III right there.
Yeah. I agree, and I think the power vacuum is they're gonna need to address it, because it's nice the way they set it up, but I don't think it's realistic. But yeah,
it's not realistic in the slightest.
Yeah, I don't know, but you also got to look at it this way and stuff. It may not be realistic, but in the Code Geass universe, there's a lot of ideologies that haven't really been explored yet. Like the whole concept that the U.S. has that's commonplace in like our world, the United States. That was like, that blew their minds and stuff whenever we tried to make the same concept with the United Federation of Nations. Everyone votes. Like he created a giant republic basically, and that blew everyone's minds. It was just a whole new concept. So I guess what I'm trying to say with it is, just because it's something that we can kind of think about and explore doesn't mean that they know what's going to happen when they do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like you have
a completely different world.
Yeah. You have to kind of go through that stage kind of thing if you're thinking about it like that.
Trial and error.
Some people in the chat, Lelouch Azarhani, asked if we think that characters from Akito and the manga will appear in season 3, and I think it's possible. We don't know for sure, but I think it's possible, because if you look at the Code Geass news, season 3 news video that we did, we looked at, on the official Code Geass Japanese website, we saw a promotional poster for season 3, but it could have been just, like for fun. We don't know if it's actually telling us this is what's going to happen, but the poster featured the main characters from Code Geass, so Lelouch, Nunnally, Collins, Suzaku, C2, and then it also, on the same poster, it featured characters from Akito and characters from the manga. So Renya of the Darkness, and Oz of the Reflection, the mangas, and Akito. So that poster is an official image on the official Japanese website of Code Geass. Is it telling us that there's going to for sure be characters from the manga and from Akito in Code Geass Season 3? Or is it just telling us, oh, look, remember these characters? These are all part of our franchise. We don't know. But I think it's definitely a possibility that we might see some characters from Akito or the manga appear in Season 3, even maybe as a cameo or something, a small role. I would like to see that. That would be interesting.
So if they were able to somehow take all the different content they've created throughout the years and then like blend it together and have each one play a small role in the greater scheme of things, I think that would be amazing. I'm not sure how
small role would be good. I don't want to see him like, have the same stage time as like Lelouch, right?
Yeah, obviously. All hail Lelouch.
Yes, all hail Lelouch.
And Phantom Black asked, because in Code Geass, the original, the characters are always fighting for their ideals. What kind of ideals do you think they will be fighting for in Season 3? And yeah, I guess my take on this is that if we see, as I predicted, the ancient civilization coming into play and then having advanced beyond physical form, the ideal I feel like that Lelouch will be fighting for is to preserve humanity with all its flaws from this ancient civilization that thinks that humans are not worthy of Geass power, that they're not worthy, and maybe even want to destroy them because they're inferior. These guys have moved beyond physical, and humans and their physical imperfections and arguments and lies, like Charles said, are inferior. If that is a conflict, then I definitely see Lelouch saying, like he was telling Charles, actually humanity, even though we're imperfect, because we face struggles, the world advances, progress is made. So I think that Lelouch would be on that side, fighting for the worthiness of mankind against potentially the ancient civilization that thinks that mankind is either too dangerous or not good enough to remain living or remain to possess Geass power because they might use it for evil things. So yeah, I would see that as a big ideological conflict in terms of, is human nature, is humanity redeemable, or are we all just evil and beyond redemption because we all are selfish and only want what's best for us and are willing to destroy others to get what we want? I feel like that's a big moral conflict that could be introduced in Season 3, and it would be drawing on the conflict that we already know from the original series. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that if we look at Charles, he's an interesting character because at first he's portrayed like this huge villain, and even after Clovis, he's like, men are not created equal. There are stronger men, there are better men, there are, that's why in between like races and everything else, there are divisions. So at first you're like, wow, this guy's a terrible human being. But his goal is to actually destroy those divisions. And because he doesn't like that about humanity, even though he kind of acts like this other person. So what I like about this show is even a bad guy like Charles is definitely portrayed as multidimensional, and you can see where he's coming from because time and time again humans have done awful things. So in the human instrumentality project kind of thing, everyone would be equal, everyone would be one conscious. So it's interesting, but I agree. I mean, you can't give way to that. You have to be optimistic, and that's kind of what Gurren Lagann is talking about. That's what Lelouch believes.
I think that would be an amazing route for it to take, kind of continue on the path of like, if they bring in new people like the ancient civilization or something that has the viewpoint that humans are inherently evil compared to them being like inherently good or whatever. And like, because like Animax said, Lelouch is always like fighting for the fact that like, even though we are imperfect, we have the room for growth and to like better ourselves. And probably like, if they took the route where like the ancient civilization thought that like humans never learn from their mistakes and it's just a continuous cycle, like they've been watching them throughout time, and it's just like, all right, they're not worthy of Geass. I think that'd be a good route for the show to take, and then Lelouch would have to try to preserve what he created in the end of Season 2, would give him a reason like to come back or like to work the shadows,
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to see, and I mean, I just hope they do it good. If that's the case, I wouldn't mind it, but I hope that they do it good and not just kind of like a worse Gurren Lagann kind of thing. We'll see what happens.
And Animax just writes Season 3. That concept, you just like put out there intrigued me so much. I want to see them. I'm gonna be upset when it doesn't take that route now.
That's awesome. Write it, bro. Fan fiction.
Deep Voice is wondering about Akito the Exiled and Shin Hyuga Shang and his Geass, which in the show we see that it's apparently given to him by like a skull, a disembodied skull. So we don't know who actually gives him his Geass, and we don't know if it's perhaps like a being that's pure consciousness that's possessing the skull or what. But that's actually an interesting thing. I think we're going to be exploring that in a future video, because I want to do a video eventually about the biggest unanswered questions or unsolved mysteries in Code Geass that we want to see solved or revealed in season 3. So I think that's definitely one of the ones I was thinking about, because yeah, we don't know exactly who gives him his Geass or why. What is the contract, right? Like there should be a contract. There should be 2 parties to the contract. And we never learn about that second party. So could that potentially come into play? Because Shin Hyuga Shang's whole Geass is he believes that life is a curse, much like Charles. He believes that life is a curse and that everyone would be better off dead. So his Geass is actually to get people to kill themselves, to die. So I wonder if someone who feels humanity should die gave him that Geass. Could it be something related to Charles? Could it be something related to the ancient civilization? That would be interesting to find out, actually. I don't know, but it's a good question.
I don't think that would be related to Charles, seeing as how he wanted change. He wanted, I guess he wanted everything to stay the same. But one of my favorite parts about Code Geass is the fact that there is no evil per se, but everybody just has their own ideologies and philosophies, and they all pursue those wholeheartedly. So if what you're saying is accurate, maybe that's going to be the ancient civilization's mentality or philosophy that they pursue. They're not going to be evil, but they just think humans would be better off not there.
Yeah, like you're right, exactly. One of the great things about Code Geass is that it's not like black and white. It's a complex kind of moral dilemma, right? So that's definitely one of my favorite parts. And let me just see 1 second.
Yeah, everyone kind of has their own like completely different viewpoint, except for Suzuka. I can't pronounce his name, but his viewpoint sucks. His viewpoint sucks, and no one cares about your ideology. You did it the wrong way.
Yeah. Roosevelt Simpson once is wondering whether Lelouch could be Emperor of Britannia once again. Now, personally, I don't think so. I would go a different direction myself. I would have him, again, have to fight an even greater threat than Britannia, or, have to fight either the ancient civilization or aliens or something else. I wouldn't have him fight, Britannia again or becoming the emperor again, unless there was some higher reason. So he becomes emperor because he needs to lead the whole world into a fight against this ancient civilization or something like that. In that sense, maybe. But I wouldn't want it to just go back to the way it was at the end of R2, kind of like, oh yeah, he was the emperor, then he disappeared, now he's the emperor again. Like, it would have to be done well. And it's all about the writing, I think, there. Like, you have to have good writing.
Well, that brings me to something I saw in the chat. It says, Dal Skidges, I think I said it right. He said, Anime Uproar, could you discuss, will the world find out Lelouch is alive, and what will they say? What will be the repercussions? Will the world turn against Britannia? And I personally don't think that anybody will, I don't think it'll be a general knowledge that he's alive. I think he'll go more behind the scenes. I think people will find out, but I think those people will be few and far between.
For sure. Good points.
Yeah, I don't think he's like stupid enough to let himself be revealed after that whole ending of season 2.
Remember when Arthur took his helmet though? That was that was so stupid. I mean, it's probably for filler and comedic effect, but I mean, he doesn't even close the suitcase, right? Like, it doesn't make sense.
We all know that's how it's gonna happen though. When something big does get revealed, it's gonna be something stupid like that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They can't, as a show, make it stupid. They have to make it smart, but like realistically, like it could probably be something stupid that would not make for good TV.
And by the way, Collider Cordero is asking if we're going to talk about Akito the Exiled and the whole Shin Hyuga Shang Skull Geass thing in a future video. And yeah, we're definitely going to do a video about the top unsolved mysteries in Code Geass that we want to see answered in season 3, and that will be one of them, because that is something that I too am wondering, because we know with every Geass contract there are 2 parties, the person with code and the person with Geass, and the contract has to be about something. So the fact that we don't know anything about Shin Hyuga Shang's contract is interesting to me. Is definitely an unsolved mystery, and I wanna learn more about it. Otherwise, it seems kind of cheap for them to never tell us anything about it ever again. I feel like they owe it to us a bit to explain the context of that, so we know why that happens the way it does.
Yeah, I think Akito is definitely going to be. It's a gold mine in general for just assuming what's going to happen in the next season and just being able to pick up clues. I think they'll definitely bring it back, intertwine it somehow. That could be bigger in a bigger way or a smaller way, but it'll definitely be relevant.
Yeah, and we'll do an analysis of it. And also a heads up, we are going to be having a new video on Code Geass coming out either today or tomorrow. Look out for that. It's going to be about a hint, a clue from 2009 that appears to predict season 3. It appears to be an image from a scene in season 3 all the way back in 2009. Phantom Black was the one in our Discord server who found this clue. I don't want to say too much about it, but you will see it's very interesting. I'm really excited for that video, so look out for that. And again, if you want to be a part of these discussions on our Discord server, where basically in this case, yesterday, Phantom Black found this hint. I did a bunch of research on it on the internet, and it's going to turn into a video now. So if you want to be a part of that, discuss stuff on the Discord, join us. Link is in the description. It's a free app. We have over 200 people there now. Gozen is in there. All the anime is in there. The anime dude is in there. We're all in there. So when we're not streaming, and if you still want to chat with us when we're not streaming, that's the way to do it. So definitely we look forward to having you in there. Some other things that I wanted to address is some of the questions we've been getting in our comments to our videos that have been kind of repeating themselves. So I wanted to kind of address them here. First, there was a lot of people seem to be arguing with me about the World of C situation when Charles and Lelouch square off in the World of C. And they seem to say that, oh, well, it's not Lelouch who kills Charles, it's God. So because of that, Lelouch does not get Charles's code. Now, I think that this is completely wrong because there are rules to the World of Geass. The nun explains those rules to C2. She says, in order for me to die, someone has to take my place. Someone has to take immortality away from me. Someone has to take code away from me. So why would we assume that the rules that are established of Code Geass would not apply to the World of C? How would Charles's code now suddenly vanish into thin air and disappear when we know that the only way someone with code can die is if he passes the code to someone else? And in this case, Lelouch was the only one in there with Geass in both eyes, so the only one who can take code away from him. It's what does code do? Code makes your body immortal. Code means that if your body is hurt, it will heal itself, that it never ages. So if Charles's body vanishes, that means his code has vanished. It means that his code had to pass on to someone else. And also, if you look at the top 5 hidden messages in Code Geass video that we uploaded last Sunday or Saturday, there we established, I think, pretty conclusively that the idea of God in Code Geass is actually very much connected to that world, to Geass. It's not the kind of God we think of as the creator of the universe, who can do anything, for whom rules don't apply. It's when they say God in Code Geass, I think what they're actually saying is the ancient civilization which became a pure consciousness, which moved beyond the physical form and became a pure consciousness. The same civilization that created the thought elevators. So they would be bound by, because they're not an omnipotent God, the way we think of God the creator. They're a different form of collective being. So they would, I think, be bound by the rules of Geass because they created Geass in the first place. They created the thought elevators in the first place. So then why would they suddenly not be subject to the same power that governs that world when they were once and still are in spiritual form a part of that world? So yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that explanation.
I agree 100% with your explanation of it, but because it was shown whenever Lelouch used his Geass on the collective consciousness as a whole. And but what I was mainly wanting to say about that is that's another point I haven't really thought of for season 3. If that ends up being the main enemy, he's already used his Geass on him. If he does have the ability to still use it, he can't use it again. So.
And also, he kind of has to be alive for season 3. So I feel like that's the only way I could think of him being alive is by him gaining immortality from Charles. So if he wasn't able to get it from Charles, there's no season 3, you know?
Yeah.
After the Mao recovering from all those shot wounds, like, who knows? Almost anything can happen with this technology. But yeah, no, I agree. To be good, it would have to be something like he has code already.
Yeah.
Not like, he managed to survive.
I mean,
that's like a good explanation that could start season 3. It's not a bullshit ass pull, you know?
Exactly.
And by the way, Wraithus says, was it Wraithus? I don't know if it was Wraithus. He talked about whether Lelouch can command God to kill Charles. Again, we can't confuse God in the sense that we think of it as God, the creator of the universe, with what they're talking about in Code Geass as God. Because there, when they say God, they mean that planet inside the world of C. They mean a physical thing. And remember, someone created this. Someone created the thought elevators. Someone created the Sword of Akasha. It was the ancient civilization. I am confident that when they say God in Code Geass, what they mean is that the collective consciousness that was created by the ancient civilizations because they transcended the Ragnares. They transcended physical form and became this thing that people refer to as God. It is not the all-powerful God that we know in our world. It is simply that ancient civilization who, through the rules of Geass, became what they refer to as God. So I definitely think that Lelouch can command that concept of God, that planet, or whatever you want to call it, to do something because it is connected to Geass. And you saw the Geass symbol appear on the planet when Lelouch commanded it. So again, it is not the all-powerful God that we think of today. So how can, a lowly mortal command God, the creator? It's not the same thing. God, the creator, is not what we're talking about when we talk about the world of C and the God in there. And someone also mentioned, what was it? I forget now, but I'll try to think of it. It was related to this.
What was religion ever, like, other than like the ancient civilization, was any other religion mentioned in Code Geass? I know there was the nun and there was the church. Did they go into detail in that? Like, could she have been a nun for the ancient civilization type of thing, or was it just a basic church?
I think it was just a basic church. In the subs, or the original Japanese, I don't think there was really very many religious references, but in the dub they did include multiple Christian references. I just don't believe it's as prominent as it would be. Because they do share a lot of the same history. I just don't believe it grew to be as prominent as it is in our world compared to theirs.
Lelouch is kind of like a very Christ-like figure as well. So they definitely keeping Christianity in mind, I feel. But yeah, it's not like Christianity is not necessarily a huge part in that world.
Yeah, he had to die for
the sins. Yeah,
sins.
Yeah, and Miskoviets, I saw him in the chat. He says, please release it today. I think he means the video. We will try. I have the script done, so it's just a matter of how long the recording and editing will take, because I don't want to release it at like 12 in the 12 a.m. or something when everyone's sleeping, and then you guys won't even know it came out. But if we can do it by a decent time, then we're definitely going to release it today, because I'm really excited about this video. And again, yeah, Discord server has been really good about all of us together coming up with ideas for new videos and new theories. So if you want to be a part of that, join the Discord server. The link is in the description.
And also make sure you guys hit that bell, because you don't want to miss. If he does decide to drop it at 12 a.m., you don't want to miss it, because apparently subscribing doesn't do its function anymore.
Yeah, I have to subscribe twice. It's true.
Yeah.
So the bell, the notification bell, that's if you want to make sure that you get the notification right away. Because what we're gonna do, I want to make sure you guys know this. As soon as we get some news about Code Geass, like something like, okay, the release date for the movies or something like that, or the release date for the sequel, we're gonna go live in a stream just like this, and it's gonna say Code Geass Breaking News, that's going to be the title. Or if it's another anime, it's going to be 7 Deadly Sins Breaking News, or whatever it is, whatever news we get about the sequel, the release date, or anything like that. So if you want to make sure that you get that right away, to be the first to know, click the notification bell, because that way you are going to be the first to know. Otherwise, you might not, until you see it like later on in your recommended box or something, you might not see it. But if you want to be the first to know, make sure you click the bell. And also being in the Discord also helps, because in the Discord, I'm going to announce right before we go into a stream. If we get news, we're going to announce it there too. So like I said, if you want to be the first to know, be sure to click that bell and be sure to be part of the Discord. Any other interesting questions in here? You guys are all in the chat, eh? You guys are all in the chat except me. You're just making me talk.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Smith is wanting us to talk more about Orange specifically. He feels like his Geass Chancellor is not discussed enough compared to how big it could be, because whenever he uses his Chancellor on somebody, it's believed that allows Lelouch to be able to use his Geass and stuff on them a second time.
Yeah, that's a good point, Goes. And we were talking about this the other day. Why don't you talk about that a bit?
About the Geass Chancellor?
Yeah, and the implications for Lelouch's power.
Yeah, well, the Geass Chancellor, what's cool is that they created it. So the idea is that they could create like more to a bigger extent as well. So and the fact is that there's also the possibility that if they use it again, then perhaps if they cancel a Geass, Lelouch will be able to use his Geass again on people. So I think whoever masters that power or has control of that Geass Chancellor, especially if they manage to kind of make it even wider, like the circumference of its effect even wider, it could be very powerful. And it could also undo things like Schneisels like brainwashing. It could undo that. So there's a lot of possibilities with that. I feel like the Geass Chancellor will be a big plot point in the next season.
That's definitely a game changer, and maybe that means Suzaku isn't as immortal as we thought he would be. Like maybe he won't always live on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's a good point too. The thing is with the Geass Chancellor, it's crazy that they could use technology to fight Geass, right? That was the craziest thing. So then Geass is not as cheap, let's say, as the Death Note is necessarily, because they could build actual technology to fight it, which you wouldn't expect. I didn't expect that to happen, but then they did it. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, because Geass it's being researched for so many years, right? So that's a big big thing too. How much research have they done? How much do they know? Can they create artificial Geass potentially? Like they created the Chancellor, can they create artificial Geass power and create a whole army of soldiers that can use Geass power? That would be an interesting part and an interesting potential thing in season 3. That would be a way to raise the stakes, because if Geass is not just like a rare thing that someone has, like a knight of one or something, if it's like a thing that a whole army has, then that becomes a huge weapon, right? So that's an interesting thing to think about.
Soul Maka asked, what is the purpose of Geass?
That's a good question too. Like why would Geass originate in the world? Why would they create Geass?
Yeah, so that is really, like, again, one huge question, guys, that I have about that I really want to explore. I want them to let us know in season 3 is why was Geass created in the first place? What are the origins of Code Geass? So all we know is that we can assume that the ancient civilization created it because they created the thought elevators, and we know it's connected, the world of sea, all that stuff, but we don't know why. If the ancient civilization doesn't appreciate humanity, as we know in Akito the Exiled, the spiritual being says that humans are not worthy of Geass, that they only have a small fragment of Geass power, that they couldn't handle true Geass power. So then why is it possible for humans to use it? What is the purpose of allowing humans to use Geass in the first place? There has to be some reason, right? So that is a big question, like the origins of Geass, why was it created, how it was created, why can humans use it, what is the purpose, is there a purpose? Like that is something that I would really want to find out, because I feel like that could be a very interesting philosophical question.
For
I
sure.
Considering
mean, it could just come down to greed. Like if they knew that some ancient civilization had a power that could eventually lead to immortality, like as shown in so many other animes, like the extent that people will go to become immortal.
Yeah. Well, that's
Do you
my
think-
thing. Considering it's two sides of the same coin between the Code and the Geass, with the creation of one, there's going to be the other. So perhaps when people created the Code or tried to become immortal, that in itself created Geass, like as a way of getting rid of that Code, because
Sure.
they say immortality is a curse above all else. So
That could be like that's why it's ordered Code Geass the title, because first they started, maybe Code came first, and then you're like, okay, like people don't want to be immortal anymore, and then Geass had to be introduced, I guess, like in both eyes, in order to rid themselves of immortality. I don't know.
Yeah. What came first, the Code or the Geass?
Yeah, I was literally about to say.
No, that is cool stuff, and I feel like also it's probably not kind of the Death Note kind of thing where they're just bored, so they like give out Death Notes. It's probably like a different kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. And is like from the ancient civilization, all we know about them is that they're one consciousness. But could it be that they're remnants of the ancient civilization that are opposed to each other? Could there be multiple consciousnesses, or someone who's an ancestor of the ancient civilization? And again, is Australia the key to all of this? Because like Australia could have those temples, could have those answers. I really want to know about those answers. And it looks like Creep Ellen in the chat found some fellow One Piece fans, so that's cool. They look like they're making some One Piece references in there.
Hey, that's awesome.
Briggs
I
loves
haven't-
that.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the chat. I'm gonna start scrolling up now.
And yeah, and by the way, guys, be sure to check out All Day Anime, his content, and the Anime Dude, his video that I linked in the description. Both of them are awesome. Big Code Geass fans, of course. That's why they're on the stream. But also big friends of the channel, big supporters, big collaborators. We're going to be collaborating with Briggs soon on some projects. So yeah, check them out. All Day Anime and the Anime Dude. There are kind of people. Anime fans, Code Geass fans, and just all-around good people.
And I think it's
haven't
cool.
Go ahead.
Briggs?
I said I haven't had so much like people that had so many like similar opinions involving anime as me, like in terms of like Steins Gate, Great Teacher Onizuka with Gozen, we got Gurren Lagann, like this Code, yeah, so many classics that I feel like I rarely get to talk about, and now I get to talk about them so much.
For sure. And another thing is just the fact that you do bring in some anime that like we haven't seen, like One Piece. So just it's good to have the people to talk to about the animes you have seen, but it's also good to have opinions about what to watch next and just something you haven't seen. So it's
I'm
great.
telling you, man, Kenichi.
I know I want to watch it so bad, but I also
to
want to watch the new season stuff. So I'm like balancing that in
True.
school. So
Yeah,
I
and
feel you.
also don't forget that Hajime no Ippo, you guys are huge fans, both of you, of Hajime no Ippo.
yeah,
Hajime no Ippo
doesn't
was,
get much better than Hajime no Ippo.
yeah. Like I think I was writing this in the chat last time to you, Gozen. Like I think Hajime no Ippo is a better executed anime, but I still enjoyed Kenichi more.
And I totally respect that idea because, yeah, there's always like, even with literature, there's like literary classics, but then there's just books you enjoy more. And like,
Yeah.
who's to say which one's better, Just because one's better executed maybe by some certain standard doesn't mean it's better if you just have a happier time watching another one.
Oh yeah, because for Kenichi, for me, like it fit me like what I wanted perfectly, and the comedy aspects in Kenichi for me like blew out the comedy aspects in Hajime no Ippo.
No, I noticed there's a lot of fan service too, so you probably like
yeah.
that too.
Oh, of course. Have you seen my thumbnails?
Oh yeah, Briggs loves his fan service.
It's true.
Unlike us here at Anime Uproar, we
I don't know.
only include the thumbnails that
Tasteful, very tasteful.
goddesses and stuff.
That last thumbnail,
Yeah.
on point.
Hey man, she's a goddess. We don't know how she'll react.
People are like, "What's Seven Deadly Sins? What is that?"
Yeah,
It's an
guys.
entertaining show.
New Seven Deadly Sins news about season 2 video is out. If you want to check that out, that's the latest video we uploaded. And actually, yeah. So if you guys wanna say anything before we wrap up, go ahead, because I'm so excited to work on the new Code Geass video, the clue from 2009 about season 3, that I want to get started on that so we can wrap up the stream soon. But let me know if there's anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up. And you guys in the chat, if there's something you want to discuss before we wrap up, let me know now.
I want to go ahead and say thank you for having me on, Animac. It's been great. I enjoyed being able to sit here and talk to you guys about this. That's the whole reason I made the Anime Dude Twitter and the Anime Dude Twitter page or YouTube page is so I could talk to other people about the shows that I enjoy and the passion that I enjoy. So it was always kind of lonely before that, but now it's nice having people to talk about it. So,
bro, total pleasure to have you. You are an awesome dude, and you are our anime dude. So.
That's true.
Thanks for
You're
coming.
an awesome anime dude.
Briggs, any final words from you?
Just thank you for having me. Everyone watch Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. That's about it.
I will have to watch this show because of Briggs. I will have to do it.
Yeah.
I will have to.
I can say
Right
that
now,
it's-
by the way, I'm watching Keijo, and it is hilarious. And it 100% deserves a second season more than Yuri on Ice. I don't care what anyone says. Bryn and Rose are not here right now, so I can say it all I want. Keijo
Yes, right.
better
Kenichi.
than Yuri on Ice any day.
He's sitting there denying it, dude. He's trying to say Keijo, but in his mind, he knows he's wanting to say Kenichi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Kenichi Keijo crossover. I want to see it.
Honestly, like if you've read the manga of Kenichi, the fan service is pretty close.
Yeah.
Probably worse actually.
Keijo is better than Yaoi on Ice, guys.
I agree.
You heard it here. You heard it here. I'm an anime analyst. You know how much thought I put into this, and I'm telling you right now, Keijo is better than Yuri/Yaoi on Ice. Gozen, you want to say something like who you are?
No, I'm good. People can stay in mystery. But no, I'm Anime Uproar, half of Anime Uproar. I want to do more videos soon. I help Animac with them, but it's just with the school stuff. Like I'm more focused on supporting Animac's videos than like putting out original content. But yeah, I love these conversations. The fact that we can talk about anime, like it's that was lacking in our lives. Even though we had like me and Boyan had each other, but me and Animac had each other. But at the same time, like he didn't watch a lot of anime I watched. I didn't watch some anime he watched. So it's good to find other people to talk about. The more the merrier. And yeah, Shinpaku, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks
Nice
for
to
coming, everybody. And Gozen, yeah, Gozen's my brother. He helps a lot with the channel, like it's our channel together. And he does a lot of the editing recently because he has school and stuff, but he helps me a lot with editing. He taught me how to edit in the first place. So definitely our awesome quality videos, which are great, have as much to do with him as with me. And yeah, so that's cool for now, guys. Thanks so much for all your questions. Thanks for coming to the chat and being active. If you want to continue the conversation, come to the Discord server. Link is in the description. It's a free app, so you can just come in and chat with us. We're gonna go now and get started on the new video, the new Code Geass video, because I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be good. So look out for that. And again, check out All Day Anime. Check out the Anime Dude. They're both awesome people, and we hope to keep doing collaborating stuff with them on this channel because they're huge Code Geass fans, huge anime fans. And yeah, so look out for the new video. Come join us in Discord if you want to keep the conversation going. And we're going to keep doing these streams. And if there's ever a big breaking news soon, we're going to do a big stream immediately as soon as we get the news. So you'll be the first to know. We're going to discuss it. Then we're going to make a formal video about it. But because streaming is faster, we're going to launch a stream ASAP as soon as we get the news. So you will be the first to know if you're subscribed to this channel. And if you hit that bell, you will be the first to know. And also being in the Discord, you'll also be the first to know. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Bang.